Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I got a message to unmute myself.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I think it's better if everyone unmutes. And whenever there is necessary, possibly they can. Yes. Good morning, everyone. So, okay. So in the previous class, I believe that we were discussing something on early start and early finish for each of the activity project. So same discussion will continue today. Right. Um, yes. Yes. So today we will be discussing. We'll continue the same discussion, that is early start and early finish. Just can anyone recall what we have discussed? What was the last problem which we have solved in the previous? What was the last problem which we have discussed in the previous class? Last example and last question.
About the conference problem.
Conference. Okay. So did we complete that problem?
Yes, sir.
And what was the problem related to? Early start and early finish. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, we'll continue the discussion and start with uh, a subtopic under the same topic. We'll just start with next topic, that is the latest start and late latest finish for each activity project. Okay. Uh, all right. So latest start and latest finish means whenever an activity, there may be n number of activities, and the project manager has to decide when to finish an activity. Is it right? So once the activity starts or ends, correct? So the project manager has to have a control on the activities, the scheduling of the activities, and that's the reason the latest start as well as the latest finish has to be determined for each of them. So what do we actually mean by
Sir,
latest? Yes.
but in the last problem, a few steps were remaining, sir.
So what were those steps?
Like
Uh,
in early finish, we had to complete some steps, sir. Last three steps were remaining.
okay. So totally, how many nodes are being calculated? Early start for how many nodes are being calculated?
Sorry, sir. We have to do early finish, sir.
Early finish.
Yes, and last four steps were remaining.
Last four steps were remaining. Okay. So can you just tell me? Uh, so, all right. So it's better if you hit that and this. Yes. Do everyone agree to this? Was the last step remaining?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes.
okay. Okay. All right. So in that case, we'll just finish that problem first, then we'll come to this. And just for your information, like whatever classes, online classes were conducted until now, I'm seeing to that I'm recording all those classes and I'm uploading the link of the same. All right. So today, what I have done morning before 9 o'clock, I have sent three links to the WhatsApp group of A section. Correct. So those three links are nothing but it is related to the online class, the recorded online class, right? So which was taken on 11th, 12th, and 13th of this month. Okay, so these 3 days online classes are being recorded, and those who have missed these classes or because of internet issues, those students who could not view a part of online class, they can take benefit of this type of the recorded classes. Okay, so the link of the recorded classes are being uh, sent to the WhatsApp. So just go through those links and start preparing for the sessionals. The first sessional is very much important for any of the subject. So since this is a quantitative problem, so see that start preparing for the first sessional. Okay, first sessional. I'm again repeatedly telling since this time you do not have much of the activities. Last semester there were different type of the activities. So that is the reason that reason was there. But this time possibly there are no other activities and your complete focus is on academics. Is it right? So, and subjects like quantitative techniques, you should operations research, you should see that you're scoring in the first sessional. There should not be any type of excuse. And the first sessional should be your target, and you should score at least 15 and near to that. Correct? Just to be on the safer side, because any subject, the first sessional is very much important. 15 should be your target out of 20. Right? So just to see that, start preparing. All right. So what are the different activities for the last example?
1 to 2,
Okay.
2 to 3,
Okay.
3 to 4,
Okay.
4 to 7,
Okay.
2 to 6,
2 to 6. Okay.
uh, then one 7 to 8,
To
6 to 7,
this many activities. Is it right? Okay. And next, what about the duration?
10,
Okay.
25,
Hmm.
25, 30,
Okay.
2.
All are two, I guess.
Yes. So last one is like 6 to 7, then 7 to 8, sir.
That is okay. I think
Yeah.
that is fine. Only the order is shuffled. That is fine.
Yes.
Okay. So the question was, what we'll do is for the network diagram, 1 dash 2, 1 dash 3, dash 3, dash 3 is from 3 dash 4, 7. Okay, I think much space. We'll draw it in the next screen. Uh, 1 dash dash 3, 3 dash 3, 3 dash 4, 4 dash 7, 3 dash 4, 4 dash 7, and 7 dash 8. And what are the rest of the activities? Can anyone tell? 2 dash 5 or 6?
2-6, sir.
6.
6 dash.
Okay, what is this duration? 1 dash
10,
okay. 2-3 is
25.
again 25.
Yes. 30,
3 days. Okay.
2.
2 and 2. Okay. These are the different. That is fine. All right. So what was E1? We have calculated E1, that is equal to 0. What is E2?
10,
Okay.
35, 60.
E4 is 6. All right.
Yes.
Next. I think only these many are calculated. Is it right?
It was for the early finish we did not do, sir.
But otherwise, E5, E6, E7, we have calculated.
Yes.
Okay. E5,
E6, sir.
E6. Yes. Right.
12,
12. Okay.
E7, 90.
90.
E8 is 92.
So in which case, we have to determine the early start and early finish.
Yes.
Okay, so it's only that we have to formulate the table, and so we have activity, duration, early start, and early finish. Okay, now what are the different activities for which we are supposed to solve? Which activities early start and early finish is to be determined?
1 to 2 determines.
Okay. Next.
2 to 3 also done.
Okay.
3 to 4 is also done.
Okay.
4 to 7 is done.
Okay.
Then from 2 to 6 is remaining.
Okay, the other path, 2 to 6, 7, and 7-8, and all of them are 2, 2, and duration. Okay, so these are the different duration. Now, what should be early start for this activity? How to consider the early start for this activity? My starting node is 2 for this activity. So, what should be considered here?
E2.
2 has to be considered because the same number has to be considered over here. So E2. E2 is how much?
10.
10. And early finish is how much? 10 plus 2, which is equal to 12. Is it right? So early finish is equal to early start plus duration. So just a minute. ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಸರ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. Yes. So this is done. Next E6. E6 is how much?
12.
12. And what is the duration? Duration or early finish should be 14, correct? And the last activity also should be equal to E7. Why? Because the starting node is 7 and this is also equal to 7. So what is E7?
90.
90. Correct. So this is the solution basically. Is it right? So always remember that the last activity is early finish and the project completion duration both are same. Okay. So just a note, you can write it somewhere. All right. So this is basically the calculation. So 1 minute I'm giving duration. You just make note of things. We'll go for the next topic. All right. So if anyone wants me to go back to the previous screen, you can just tell me. For now, I'm just going to the next screen. So until now, we have already completed only this particular screen you are supposed to note down because this was not done in the previous. Okay, so once this is done, uh, the early finish, of activity 7-8 is equal to 92, which is also equal to the project completion duration. So always remember that project completion duration and the early finish of the last activity both will be the same. Project completion duration and the early finish duration of the last activity both are going to be the same. Okay. So this is how you can actually ensure that the answer what you have obtained in the final semester and examination is right. So in the examination itself, you can make out whether you have got the right answer or not. So the project completion duration and the early finish of the activity must be the same. Okay. So just make note of these things. Okay. So once this is done, go for the next topic. That is latest to start, latest to finish for each activity. All right. So let us assume that we have list of activities like just wait until I completely finish all this, writing all this activities. Since I do not have space, I'm writing the same activities again. You need not have to worry. Don't rub any of the matter which you have written already. So just one more activity is there. So that I'm writing again. Uh, one dash two dash four dash five 5-6 4-6. All right. Yes. So I think these many activities will consider 7 days. Duration is in. Uh, Next 2-3 is 10 days. 3-4 is 2 days. 2-5 is 2 days. This is 3. This is 6 days. Okay. The question is we have to determine the latest start and latest finish. Now, as I already told, latest start means what? How much delay? How much we can delay each of that? Correct. So that is basically the question here. That means what? Instead of starting on the early start date, can we start on the latest start date? Latest start date means how much delay a project manager has for each of the activities in terms of starting an activity. Okay, let us assume that data collection process, correct? The previous semester in my subject, you had one of the project in which your one of the task was data collection, correct? So data collection process. Uh, so here you may have determined the early start date for the data collection process maybe 20 days, but the latest start date may be 23 days. Now, what does that mean? It means that you can actually delay data collection process by 3 days. The start of the data collection process by 3 more days. That is the meaning of this particular statement. Okay? That is the meaning of latest start. Likewise, is latest finish also. How much we can delay the finish of an activity is the question. So this we are supposed to determine. Okay. So same thing actually, same process we follow in determining the late start and the late finish for each activities. Let's see if I can draw the network diagram here. We'll start solution. It's mandatory. We need not again say that the network diagram has to be drawn because it's understood. Okay, network diagram. Any problem you take, the network diagram is very much important. This network analysis module. Okay, 3 dash 4 dash 5 dash 6 and 4 dash. So this is basically the network diagram in which the activity duration is 7 and 2-5 is 4 dash 6. This is basically the network diagram. Okay.
Sir, it is not required to draw it the same way, right?
Yes, you can draw it anyways. But only mandatory thing is you have to determine this particular.
So the arrows must be proper.
Yes.
Which
Arrows
way
have to
the
correct. Arrows have to be properly mentioned. That is sufficient. This is the network diagram. So can anyone find out the project completion duration? Or instead of determining the project completion duration, yes, both ways you can actually calculate. I think it would be better if we determine the early start for each of the nodes. Otherwise, there is nothing wrong if you have started collecting the calculating the project completion duration. But this is also another method. I think I prefer this method so that it will be a recall for you. What is E1? How to determine E1? Early start for the first node is 0. That is for all the problems. Actually, we are supposed to determine the latest start and latest finish for each of the activities. But what we are doing is, since a latest start has to be determined for each of the activities. So what we are supposed to do is, first we have to determine the early start for each of the nodes. Okay, are you understanding? So that is the reason we have to determine E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and E6. So are you getting this? So we have to determine early start for each of the nodes. Okay. We have to determine the early start for each of the nodes. We have to calculate the latest start for latest finish for each of the nodes. Okay. So just calculate and tell me what is E2 in this particular problem.
Seven.
7. And what is the equation for E2?
E1 plus duration of 1 to 2.
Duration of 1. And that is equal to 0 plus 7. That's right. What about E3?
E2 plus duration of 2 to 3.
E2 is duration E2 plus duration of 2 dash 3. And what is E2? Is 7. What is duration of 2 dash 3?
10.
10. 17 should be the answer. Correct? Yes. Next, what is E4?
E3 plus duration of 3 to 4.
Okay. So what is E3? E3 is 17. Duration is how much? 3 dash 4.
2.
Answer should be 19. So this is already done. Like this calculations we have already, so I'm just not concentrating much. What is E5? Is it right?
Yes, sir. 2 to 5.
What is E2? E2 is 7. Duration of 2 dash 5.
2.
Answer is 9. Right. Now for E6 we require two different equations. E4 plus duration of 4-6, E5 plus duration of 5-6. What is the answer? Correct. So these calculations we have already done. I'm not calculating once again, but I'm just collecting the answers from
25 is to 12.
how much?
25 is to 12. So will be 25.
Answer will be 25. Is it right?
Yes.
So E6 is equal to 25. Now for our calculation for this particular problem, we actually required only E6. We actually required only E6 for this particular problem. Okay. So just make note of. Correct. So once this is done, I'm just going for the next. These calculations are already done, so we'll not focus much. Here, the main focus should be the E6 calculation. Now, L6 has to be started. For the latest start, just a minute. So, in order to calculate, so in order to calculate the late start for each start, finish for each of the activities, we have to first determine date finish for each node. Okay, are you getting this? So this is the same thing what we have done in even in our previous calculations. Okay, we first calculated the early start for each of the nodes, and then we determined the early start and early finish for each of the activities. So here the question was to determine the latest start and latest finish for each of the activities, for which we have to determine the late finish for each of the nodes. Okay, node means what? It is the start and the ending part of the activity. right? So this is basically the explanation. All right. So once it's done, go for the next screen. Now, first we start with the last L6. Now, whatever calculation you find in this particular problem is exactly reverse of what we have done in our previous problems. The previous problem we started with E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. This problem we are coming in the reverse direction, that is L6, L5, L4, L3, L2, L1. Okay. L6 is always equal to E6. That is for all the problems. Okay. And that is therefore L6 is equal to E6 is equal to how much you said? 25 is what I remember, correct?
Yes.
Now this is also equal to project completion duration. Project completion duration. Project completion duration. Okay. Now what does L6 mean? L6 is late finish for all the activities. Late finish for all the activities that finish on the 6th node. Okay. This is the latest date by which a project manager has to finish activities that finish on the 6th node. Okay. Are you getting this? Now why L6 is equal to 25? Because since 25 is the project completion duration. Means that all activities. So it means that all activities of the project should finish on the 25th day. Okay, that is the reason L6 is equal to 25. This is the same for all the problems. L6 is equal to E6 is equal to 25. Okay, are you getting this? Any doubts? So on 25th day, it is definitely correct, is it right? So the project manager has to see that all the activities finishes on the 25th day.
Sir, L6 is latest start or latest finish?
L6 is the latest finish for all the activities that finishes on the 6th node. And here, if you have to see the latest finish for the activities that finishes on the 6th node, this particular problem is 5-6 and 4-6.
So now we are calculating latest finish, sir, not
Correct.
latest start.
That's what, like latest, using latest finish, we can determine latest start.
Did not get.
See, first what we are doing is we are determining what is the latest finish for each of the activities.
Okay.
Once that is being calculated, latest start will be determined.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so to determine the latest start, we have to determine latest finish first.
Okay.
Okay, so that I think you will understand only when we are solving the problem. In the course of
Yes.
solving the problem, you'll understand. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Since 25 is a project completion duration, it means that all activities of the project should finish by 25th day. Okay, therefore L6 is equal to 20.
Yes, sir. Here, activity 1 can't finish on the 25th day, right? Sir?
No. I think let us not go to that that particular interpretation. First, we will just understand the latest finish for the activities that finishes on the 6th node. This is understood. Whatever I have written on the 6th screen, this particular screen.
Yes, sir. But here it means that all activities should finish by 25th day is there, no, sir. So,
On or before. Before 25th day. That means what? Let us assume that the project completion duration, project starts on May 1st. Okay. May 1st it starts, and this problem, what it says is it takes 25 days to complete the project. That means what? May 25th. By May 25th, all the activities of the project should be over. That means what? Not that all the activities should come and finish only on 25th date. It can finish before that also. Correct. Some of the activity may finish on 10th day. Some of the activities may finish on the 15th date. Is it right? For example, data collection process itself, the market research, it may get over on 15th date. Correct. And your research report writing may get over on 20th day. And finally, conclusion, taking printout and taking the printout and sending it for review, so on and so forth. It may take another 5 days. We'll make it 25 days to complete the complete process of your research process.
yes, sir.
All right, so just make note of this, and then we'll go for the next. Shall I go for the next screen? Okay, so I'm going for the next. Correct. So, yes. So, last step. It means that all the activities of the project, all the activities of the project must finish on or before the 25th day. Okay, is it fine? Therefore, L6 is equal to 25. Okay, is it fine? Now you can determine L6. There is another method of determining L6, that is by determining the project completion duration. So let us assume that you are not comfortable determining E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. You can also determine the project completion duration. That also will be equal to 25. Okay, so then you can say that L6 is equal to project completion duration. All right. Next is L5. L5. L5 means late finish for activities that finishes on the 5th node. Okay, on the 5th node. So which is that activity that finishes on the 5th node? Anyone? Possibility is 2-5. Is it fine? Is it correct? So which are the activities that finishes on 5th node?
Two dash five.
5.
2 dash. Is it right? Correct. So 2 dash 5. Correct. We have to determine what should be the latest finish date for 2 dash 5 activity. If we have to determine that, we have to go for the 6th node finish date. 5th node finish date is 25 days. Correct. And if this activity has to finish on 25th day, what is the duration of 5-6 activity? What is the duration of 5-6 activity? 3 days. 3 days, correct. So let us assume that the project should complete by 25th day, latest by 25th day, and this is taking 3 days time, that is 5-6 activity. Then by what date we should finish this activity? Can anyone tell? By what date we should finish this activity?
22.
Correct. 22 days. Is it right? We have to just come in the reverse direction for this. If the complete project should finish by 25th day, that means 3 days prior to this activity, we have to finish this activity. That is 2 dash 5. Or any of the activities that finishes on the 5th node. Okay. So I'll just draw this neatly in the next screen, and we'll just quickly write the explanation for this. So just make note of whatever I'm writing. The next screen. So we have to determine 5. Okay. 2 dash 5 is also there, but that is not of much importance for us. It has to finish by 25th day. Now the duration said was 3 days. This is the reason. This is L5. That means what? This L6. L6 is equal to 25. That L5 is 25 minus 3. Correct? So if the project has to finish by the project should complete by 25th day, then activities finishing on the 5th node must finish by uh, must finish by 25 minus 3 days. Correct. So just writing it here. L5 is equal to L6 minus duration of 5 dash
5 dash
6. Correct. 5 dash. That is 25 minus 3. 22. Okay. So let's make note of this. Okay. So if there is any doubt, you can ask. And the students who have missed previous classes and who had some network issues, for the benefit of those students, the online classes are being recorded, and the link of the same is being sent to the WhatsApp group. So I think the first 3 classes, that is 11th May, 12th May, and 13th May classes are being recorded, and rest of them will be done at the earliest. Okay. The link of the rest of the classes will be centered there. So see that you are preparing for your sessionals well, and see that you do not take the final semester and examination lightly. Don't be under the impression that the examination will be cancelled or postponed. The second semester exams may be conducted or may not be conducted, we do not know, but see that you are taking the first sessional very, very seriously. This time you do not have any type of non-academic activities. So you should see that you are preparing for the first sessional seriously, correct?
So the internals will be MCQs, sir.
No. It will be the same like what we had in the previous
So-
semester. It will be the written exam itself. Only that the question paper will be circulated, and the particular duration will be given to all the students, and in that duration you have to send the soft copy of the answer sheet to me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so the screen will be as it is, and those who are writing can stay online. Rest of them can leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.